Hello there. There's a weather front slicing Europe in two at the moment, and it means that to the north and west things stay pretty breezy and showery at times. To the south and east of that front it's hot and humid, but you can see that front is producing some rain, and it will continue to produce some rain across the Pyrenees, across central and southern France and into the Alps as we go through the day. But much of the Mediterranean is fine and settled. There were some heavy rains which brought some flooding into Istanbul at the weekend. Things have improved here. We've got some heat still with those temperatures into the mid-30s through the southeast Mediterranean across much of Italy, and it's been pretty warm in central and southern parts of Spain as well. That sunshine continues. There's our rain from that frontal system. Windier to the north and west, showery, and those temperatures a little bit disappointing really for the middle of August. Now that frontal system will move its way steadily eastwards, and then much of Europe quietens down as we go through our week ahead. More wet and windy weather into the far northwest of the UK, but eventually we'll see some warmth spreading its way steadily north as we go through the week. And you can see that in the city forecast actually. London and Paris back into the mid to high 20s. We keep the sunshine and consistency in Madrid and Rome. Further east, the rain will slowly start to ease with the exception of Moscow. Elsewhere it's dry, settled and sunny. Take care. Hello there. Let's take a look at the weather forecast for North America. It's largely about the feel of the weather at the moment because it's quite widely hot, dry and sunny, and you can see from the satellite picture there's not that much in the way of significant rain-bearing cloud. This weather front scoots his way out of the Great Lakes, takes some wet and windy weather across Quebec and up into Labrador, and some of the heat and the humidity sparking off some pretty intense thundery downpours anywhere really from Tennessee, Georgia down into the Carolinas and Florida as well. But further west it's largely fine and settled for a couple of days at least. By the time we get to the middle of the week there's a weather front waiting out in the wings across the Pacific Northwest, and that'll bring some rain, but it's largely fine across British Columbia, Washington State, Oregon, stretching down into California. Inland we've got some heat, as you can imagine, at this time of year still continuing, but the story is a little bit more unsettled across the northwest as we go through the middle part of the week. Now across that east coast we've already mentioned that frontal system that eases away, a legacy of showers perhaps to New York and Washington, not really amounting to too much. Fine, dry and settled until you get down into the Carolinas and into Florida, where we will see some heavy thundery downpours as well. So they're expected to continue on and off throughout the week. Elsewhere it's a dry, settled theme. Hello there. The main feature with the weather across South America at the moment is a cold front that's moving its way out of Uruguay into southern Brazil. This is the dividing line between introducing some slightly colder air south of that weather front. It will produce some heavy rain at times, but really the talking point to the south of that is going to be the temperatures struggling. Buenos Aires only 9 degrees, so temperatures way below the average for the time of year. Now further north and west of that, yes, we've got some showers, not as extensive as they can be, affecting parts of Venezuela and Colombia. Good slice of dry weather through much of northern Brazil. There's our rain producing some heavy bursts at times, maybe even some thunder and lightning as it moves its way through Uruguay, southern Brazil and Paraguay. Behind it, disappointingly cool flavour to the story at the moment. So this is going to be the outlook for the next few days. Temperatures in Buenos Aires will recover, the rain easing in Rio de Janeiro. Now let's move out of South America towards Mexico and Central America, where we're seeing some pretty enhanced shower activity. There's a potential just off the west coast of a storm to develop, but it is going to move its way, continue to move its way from east to west. We'll also pick up a few sharp showers into the Caribbean over the next few days. We'll need to keep an eye on those, and the showery theme is set to continue into Havana. Kingston, Jamaica, escaping the worst of them. It stays dry and sunny. Hello there. We've seen some extreme heat in southern Africa in recent days. In fact, in Namibia, in Walrus Bay, we saw a high of 41.6 Celsius on the 16th of August. That was their hottest August ever. But there are potential to change that over the next few days and break the record again. We've had a weather front that's moved through, and that has introduced something a little bit fresher over the next couple of days, but heat is then set to build. You can also see some pretty intense showers through the equatorial region, and some of those really quite heavy, stretching from Senegal down into Sierra Leone. So it stays pretty eventful over the next few days, with the heat continuing to build, as I say, into the south as we move through the week. Johannesburg keeps some sunshine as well. Khartoum to the far north will stay fine, settled and sunny, along with Casablanca. Here we'll see temperatures into the 30s by the end of the week. Now, across to the Middle East, it's a largely quiet story. We've got a light shamal close to the Red Sea coast, and that could bring some lifted dust, but further inland, lighter winds here, and it's all about the temperatures across Kuwait and parts of Iraq. High 40s, not out of the question over the next few days. Still a bit of a breeze, perhaps close to that Yemen and Oman coastline there, but it will stay largely fine and dry. So this is the forecast then for the next few days. We keep those temperatures in Riyadh into the 40s, high 40s for Kuwait. Hello there. The southwest monsoon continues to bring heavy flooding rains this weekend. The heaviest, most persistent has been across much of northern India, as you can see quite clearly on the satellite picture, and there's more yet to come over the next few days. So, moving away from the satellite picture into the forecast for Monday, you can see the heavy rains moving from that west coast a little bit further east into Chennai. We'll see some heavier showers pushing their way up through West Bengal, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, towards Uttar and Andhra Pradesh as we go through the middle of the afternoon. So, some pretty extensive rainfall still yet to come, just going to exacerbate the flooding issues. But as for much of Central Asia, it's largely fine and quiet. Kazakhstan, lots of dry, sunny weather. That extends down into Uzbekistan. As you can see down into Afghanistan and Pakistan, it's a drier story here. Still plenty of heavy rain moving their way across through that Kerala coastline and pushing steadily eastwards. And then the brighter yellows and greens denoting the really intense downpours a little bit further north of the east yet again. So it's an unsettled week ahead, as you can see for many. Islamabad will keep the blue sky and sunshine. Plenty of showers continue into Colombo across Sri Lanka. Now, it looks as though further north will keep some sunny spells going, but Karachi will have a little bit of fair weather cloud from time to time. Hello there. A forecast for Australia and New Zealand coming up shortly. But first of all, let's start off with Asia, where things are a little bit quieter in comparison to where we were this time last week. And in fact, on the satellite picture, you can see that there's a good deal of dry weather in the forecast at the moment. Yes, heat of the day showers will tend to develop. And yes, we've still got some showers across Japan. But in comparison to the storms that we've seen recently, it's an improving story. Not looking too bad across the Korean Peninsula. A few sharp showers into northern China and along that east coast down into Hong Kong, where it's been unsettled over the weekend. We'll see further heavy rain. Also some pretty intense rainfall across the Philippines at the moment. Need to keep a close eye on that. That might develop into something over the next few days. But the rain will ease in Beijing, and it's an improving picture as we go through the week. We keep a few showers into Bangkok for the next 5 days. Now for Australia, it's all about high pressure, but down into the southeast corner, it's wet and windy at times. It's also rather cool for the time of year. So yes, there's a chance of seeing further snow, some very heavy rain across parts of Tasmania, and it's quite stormy still across both the North and the South Island of New Zealand, with weather fronts driving in from the west, bringing some severe gales at times, and yes, some snow to the tops of higher ground. So this is the forecast for the next few days. Wellington will see a gradual improvement into next week after the heavy rain clears away.